this month I'm really excited because our speaker is someone who I have been a personal fan of for around about 6 years. She won the Apprentice and partnered with Lord Sugar. She's grown a massive company. She also does invest in property as well on the side, but she's just a great, down-to-earth, humble businesswoman who I think we can learn a lot from. Could we please give a beautiful introduction to our guest speaker, Sian Gabbidon.
Does anybody watch The Apprentice? Yeah. Woo! Did anyone watch my series? Yeah. Oh, did you want me to win? Yeah. Yes. Who said no? Take them out. I'm Sian. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. I own a fashion label, an e-commerce agency. I do bits of investment in property. I won the series back in 2018. Got the investment from Lord Sugar, the partnership, and went on to grow my brand and explore new opportunities. A lot of people know me from the show and what happened after, but they don't know the beginning, and they don't know that I actually started the business from absolute scratch with no investment. Leeds girl, born and bred. Dad works in a factory. Mum is a nurse for the NHS. My parents were so grounded and hardworking that they taught me a lot about life. It's about things that you don't necessarily even learn at school. And my parents pretty much sacrificed everything for me. And I'm an only child, so everything was given to me. I wanted to go to uni, I wanted to get a degree. I wanted to do something that none of my family had ever done before. And to this day, I'm the only one in my family who went and got a degree. I always knew that I wanted to succeed in life. Whatever that meant, I didn't know what I would do with this creative talent that I had. So I decided that as I got through high school, I had really good grades. And I was at a point of, I could really pick any subjects here and do well in it. And my parents would say, please just pick something that you enjoy. So I got to a point of saying, right, I know I could make a lot of money doing this one thing, but this passion I have for like fashion, design, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do to make money from it, but I'd rather try that, see what I can make work, and money, success, you know, it will come. Studied fashion design with marketing and production at uni. And one of the tutors did once say to me, she was like, you know, you have to be in London really to make it in fashion. Like, it's a standard. And I'm very proud of being from the north. And it was very much that digital era, social media, Instagram was just up and coming. And I was like, I don't think you're right. I'm going to do things my own way. And she was completely right in a sense that there was no jobs really in fashion in the north. So I decided to work in marketing. And on the side, I literally set up an Instagram account back in the day, years ago. And I used to just make random stuff. I used to make clothes, I made bikinis, I made dresses, and I used to get stylists saying, I've got so-and-so going away, I've got Kate Ferdinand, she's going on holiday, she needs some bikinis, can you make her some? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I didn't have a website or anything, just all Instagram. I remember this one time with Kate Ferdinand, she was like, she's going away. I made about 15 bikinis in 2 days at home, sent them off, and then I heard nothing for a long time. And then it got to January, and she went to Dubai and she wore a few of them, and literally the power of the influencer, especially back then, organically, it just absolutely popped. Following shot up, inquiries, and it got to a point then where I was like, I can't actually do this on my own. I was working full-time for a marketing company. I was getting up at 5 a.m, my boyfriend asleep in bed. I'd be sewing bikinis in the next room, going to work, going to the post office for the whole of my hour break to post everything out, going back to work, and then coming home and being every single part of the business. People think with The Apprentice that, you know, a lot of the other winners that go on, they've had a business 4 or 5 years, it's successful, and then they get the investment and then they grow it. My business was tiny, it was small. So that investment was mega for me. To be on it, you know, I think my first challenge was I don't want to go out first. Like that would really embarrass my whole family and me. And as soon as I got past that stage, I was like sussing everyone out. I'm like, do you know what? I think I might do all right in this. The final was watched by 9 million people. Just for any business, you know, any bloody social media account, everything was just, I felt like Beyonce. And you know, the first year or two was hard. We had opportunities coming out of every, you know, corridor, and I was like taking it, let's do it. But I think that journey and that, you know, few years of developing just made me who I am today and made me resilient. I've since gone on to set up other businesses, As Samuel said, I invest in property in some respects, not like how you guys do, but we all know how much money you can make from it and how successful you can be in property. And I guess as I've developed and got to a position now saying, right, what other things do I want to do in my life? I'm like, do you know what? If I can help other people in business that actually have been in the struggle I've been in, but genuinely help them and not rip them off, I'd love to do that. And Sean and I came together. He's very much like technical, ads, SEO, and I'm the creative. And we set up an e-commerce agency that essentially is fully omni-channel. So we do everything in business. Sometimes you're so busy doing that you don't actually stop to go, do you know what? I've done quite well. I've never, up until more recently, I've never said, well done for all that stuff that you did for them 10 years that you put into these businesses to grow them. Because you're always looking at the next challenge and the next step, and I want to do more. Success for me now is actually being happy and having a happy life and having a happy home and having a family. And that's what I class as success, because money comes and goes. You can make money, and as long as you've got stability in that, you're cool. But you can't get time back. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to enjoy life more. Last couple of years have been relaxed, get the business in a stable position. Although I did then decide to set up the e-commerce agency, which was not a simple task, but got to do what makes you happy. Thank you.
We've got lots of questions here that the audience has provided, so we're going to pick your brains if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So grab yourself a seat, and also, ladies and gents, could we introduce onto the panel as well, Mr. Samuel Leeds. Why do you think you won The Apprentice, in your opinion?
The way I was quite calm throughout, but I knew my stuff, and I didn't never really lose my temper or do anything bizarre. As someone looking to get into business with someone, I think there'd be certain traits you'd look for, and I'd like to think that I ticked a few of those boxes for Lord Sugar.
I applied for The Apprentice as well, but I wasn't even accepted on the show.
I applied. You didn't even get an interview, did you?
I didn't get nothing.
I applied. I got an interview, went down, and I wonder if it was similar for you. They got you doing different tasks.
Absolutely.
And then so you do your task.
I didn't get this far.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it. He's not on our level, Sean.
I'm curious now though. Be honest. By a show of hands. If you've ever applied to be on The Apprentice, be honest. Raise your hand. Okay. All right, next question. If you've ever thought about applying, if you've had that toxic thought, which is, if I did apply, I'd win. Raise your hand. Yeah, you're full of shit. I think that Shan won The Apprentice. I can give my thoughts on why you won. I think you won because I think that you were your true, authentic self.
A lot of people talk about, negative friends, for example, that they had, from when they were younger, and then when they become successful, those friends are trying to drag them down, but you've not had anything like that.
When I first set up my brand, and I was working full time, it wasn't a joke in the office, but the odd person would say the odd thing of like, oh yeah, your brand, your Instagram account. And then, funnily enough, they're the people when I won the show that was DMing me, oh my God, I'm so proud. I'm like, please, you used to take the piss out of my brand, and now you're my best friend. And
as well as friends, how about haters? Have you had to deal with haters?
Oh God, daily. And it's hard because I live a very positive mindset kind of life now. I'm very much keep the negative away. I don't bother with people that bring that energy. But you can't really avoid it on social media. I'll see comments and I just instantly block, and I'm like, delete and forget about it.
I don't block them because I want them to see everything.
It's the DMs, because the DMs are the. It's actually probably less of the hate. It's just the weird men. The weird. Probably don't need to.
I don't get that.
Sean, top sales tips.
I guess from my experience, you've got to know your product, right? You've got to know your product inside out. So much information on social media, you have to sift through the crap. So I think when you become a salesperson, you've got to be authentic and real, because people will see through it. I think, I do anyway, I completely see through it.
What was the most challenging thing about being on The Apprentice?
So for me, I think the hardest thing was the worry of how are they going to portray me, because I had no idea I didn't know how I was going to come across. I tried to be level-headed, and they portrayed me exactly as I am, which, luckily I'm very thankful for. But I know some of the other cast members, they were cool. We all actually had a really good relationship and we still speak now. But they were definitely shown in much more like harsher lights than they really were.
Did you watch it back?
Oh yeah, I watched every single ep.
Have you watched it multiple times?
No.
If you had to start again, but couldn't do property, you're going to say swimwear, aren't you? But what would you do?
I look at things like, and maybe it's because of the industry I'm in and because I get it, but things like digital products.
I think if I was starting all over again from scratch, which I've done many times, but I've always done property. But if I wasn't allowed to do property and I was starting all over again from scratch, what I would do is I would get around rich people and I'd just find out what their struggles are.
So like to help them with the
No, to steal from them. Another thing I would do, if I was starting again from scratch, is I would get really, really good at sales.
Maybe that's a new challenge. Start again from scratch, but can't do property.
Nah, man, property's the best.
Final question. Actually, I'm not sure who this one is for. There's a cryptic message at the end, but I don't know. What routines do you follow each day? P.S. You're gorgeous.
Clearly for me.
One thing that I've always been massive on is actually like well-being and fitness, physical fitness.
At night time before I sleep, I write down what I'm going to achieve the following day. And usually it's just one thing. And then all night I'm just like ready like a lion ready to devour its prey. And then I'm like in bed and I'm just thinking about getting that thing done, excited. And then get up and then fucking smash it and go to town on it, make it happen. Sleep 8 hours a day. Every day I take walks, exercise, and also regularly take time out to just think what I'm grateful for, who I'm grateful for, grateful to God for the blessings I got in my life, grateful for my wife, my kids, my family. I think when you're in a place of gratitude, you achieve more, you're happier, in a better headspace, but ultimately go to work hard, and love every minute of it as well, and enjoy climbing the mountain.
You know, it really is amazing to get, people like Samuel and Sian up here, golden nuggets, people who are super successful. So could we give it up one more time for Sian and Samuel?